What is going on, crypto bulls? Today I want to teach you guys how to trade faster and how to save money. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a tool. This is completely free, so you guys are going to be able to kind of tap into this real quick. So one of the questions I've gotten asked a lot this week is, how do I set up my gas fees? And how do I go about, trading faster? And what exactly are gas fees? There's a lot of new people coming into crypto, so I wanted to make an updated video because we have the brand new BULLX Neo that is currently out in just a little bit. And if you want to get whitelisted and not have to wait in line, click that BULLX link down below. And also, super important, guys, make sure you guys follow me on TG and on X, because I will be dropping a early link that will complete you post you all the way to BULLX Neo. So make sure you guys do that right now. So with that being said, guys, let's talk about what gas fees are and why it's important that you understand when to use them, when not to use them. So when you ever start BULLX or whatever trading bot that you guys use, you will be having to pay gas fees. So what exactly are gas fees, right? So gas fees are you pay a little bit extra to make sure your transaction goes through. And in addition to that, if you use any other bot, for example, Photon, any other bot they use, they will always charge you a little bit of percentile based on that transaction fee, right? So how do you go about trading faster and saving faster? Because the reason you're pretty much trading faster is because of that charge they're putting into you guys for that trade that you're doing. So I'm going to give you guys my setup that I have, and it's extremely important that you understand if you're a beginner and you're starting off with one soul, and you saw my video on how I actually started with 0.5, right, all the way to a 6 fig, getting close to 7 fig there. I'm going to give you what I personally used to get me there, and it's going to be your transaction is going to not be super duper fast. But the great thing is that even with the settings I'm going to show you guys, BULLX still does a really good job. So I'm going to give you guys the indicators of when you need to use certain parameters and when you don't. So let's start off with the first one, guys, which is called the dream. And this is going to, if you guys have BULLX, this is what you're going to need to do in order to set this up. This looks very similar to like the standard BULLX. So if you click on the link, it'll take you to the same thing. But the great thing is with Neo, now not only do you get 4, you get 5, 6, you get additional ones, right? So you could either do a couple things. You could either click this little wheel right here that has the settings wheel, and that will pull up this menu for you guys. Or you could simply click on this one right here, which will do the same thing. Okay, and you have two parameters. You have the buy parameter and the sell parameter. So every time you buy, it's going to charge you a little bit, and every time you sell, it's going to charge you something. Now, default, this comes out like at 30, I believe, and it gives like 0.1. I think that's the default. And this is called the dream because this is like the one that you want to use if you're a beginner. So priority fees, I'm going to go through this really quick because a lot of you guys already know this. This is pretty much if you want to say, you know what, I want to pay a little bit extra to be priority number one. And as you see right here, guys, this has the little gas can right there, right? So you could set this to as how high as you want it to set up. And then I'm going to explain when this actually becomes important and when it doesn't. So for you beginners out there, I would set priority to 0. All right, 0. It's going to be a little bit slower on your transaction. It's not going to be super fast if the chart is moving really, really fast, but it's better that you're not losing money. Okay, now if you could lose money, I'll go through the other ones. Okay, then we have buying slippage. So buying slippage is pretty much very simple to explain. And at the first time when I first started trading, I didn't even know what slippage was until now. Okay, so now after trading a while, now I know. So basically, slippage is how much. So let's say if you buy at 50K here and this was 0, it would buy here at 50K, and if for some reason the chart goes a little bit down, like 10%, or it goes up 10%, if you have this to 0, it will not buy the token. Basically, slippage says if the token goes below 5%, below 10%, depending on what you put here on your percentile, I'm okay with still making that trade. If you have this to 0, it's basically you're telling it whenever I click buy, if it moves slightly up or if it moves slightly down, it's not going to buy at all. So you want to make sure your slippage is set to a certain amount because it's either going to give you more tokens or it's going to give you less tokens based on the percentile that you go ahead and say that you want to do. So let's say we're buying here at 50 and we want to buy, at 50% right here. Okay, we want to buy 50% at basically 5%. Like, I'm saying 5%. So if it drops to 45, I'm still going to be able to buy. If it drops to 55, I'm still going to be able to buy there. And it gives me that wiggle room to get me in, either get more tokens or get less tokens. All right. Super important. This buy MEP protection, you have to go ahead and enable that. That is extremely, extremely, extremely important. Highly recommend you guys go ahead and actually enable this. I don't know if it comes disabled, but you should enable this 100%. This is going to basically prevent you from buying super high when you get those spikes. I'll show you what those spikes look like, because I know there's a lot of new people here, so I want to make sure you guys kind of understand exactly. So you see this big line. This is like not the not not the block, but the link line. So these are MEV bots. So usually sometimes if you don't have that protection on, it'll buy up here, or it'll sell down. It's one of those. So you want to make sure that's enabled. And the last thing we have is the buy bribery. So buy bribery is pretty much the same thing as a priority fee, but this is going to be an addition that you're going to want to make sure you pay a little bit more to bribe the bots and say, you know what, put me in priority. All right, put me in priority. Like, if you already have the priority fee, so that's gonna, like, hey, put me in priority. And this is like, I want to tip you a little bit more to make sure that you get my transaction through. So if you're new first time trading, you only have one soul, you have less than one soul, this is the setup I would use. I would use 0, 5, and 0. It's gonna be a little bit slower, but it's still gonna get the transactions through. All right, so what I would do, guys, is this is how I would set it up. If for some reason you guys are trying to get into a call and you can't get into a call, all you would want to do is just increase this percentile to 10. Okay, that's basically what you want to do, just to increment it just a little bit. So that way it gives you a chance, like if the coin goes too high up or too high or too low, it still will get you in there regardless. Okay, now this is all gonna, if you have no priority, no bribery, it's just gonna take a little bit longer. Now, you still are able to play with the other ones. So let me show you guys the other parameters. So I have this other one called Gamble, Ape, and Degen. Now on the Dream one, you also want to make sure that your cell is actually almost identical, but not identical. What I mean is that I'm actually paying a little bit of priority here, because I want to make sure, like, if I see the chart dipping or tanking like this, I want to make sure I get out there as quickly as I possibly can. Selling is a little bit more important to me than buying, because if I could sell on a dip, it's going to save me money and prevent me from losing, or just give me a better exit, right? So I'm willing to pay a little bit of priority here, and I'm willing to pay a little bit of bribery. If you still feel that this is too much, you could either remove either the bribery or remove the priority here, and keep your max slippage at 10%. So once again, if you're new to crypto, have one soul, less than one soul, you want these settings for buy and these settings for sell. That's how you want to set it up. Now, if you have a little bit more and you're willing to, you just be like, I want to get in there as quickly as possible, these are the ones that I feel like work. So if the chart, like if you look at this chart right here, this chart's not really moving that fast. Okay, this is the chart that's moving fairly slow. So I'm okay with going within the gamble. And the way the gamble works is we're putting a little bit of more priority fees. So for our priority fee, we have 0.0024. That's like roughly like $2. We still have the slippage set at 10, and we have the bribery at 0.0024, which is exactly the same. So you'll see how fast it is. So let's say I go here, and that's the sell, and then the buy is exactly identical, right? It's exactly identical. It's exactly the same. So for example, let's say I say, you know what, I want to buy this, right? So we're going to go here, and we're going to buy 0.1. We're going to buy, and you're going to see how fast this actually goes. So right here, you see that? Boom, already bought. Okay, so it's not that fast, it's not that slow, it's not that fast, and this actually works the majority of the time. This will get your pretty much your buy-in. Okay, now because the chart is not moving as fast. Now if we had a chart that was moving super duper fast, okay, one that's like, I mean, it's just like flying, right? This one looks like, let me see if I can find one that's actually moving pretty quickly here. Now all these are a little bit stagnant, but if we had a chart that was moving a lot faster than usual, right? I'm trying to see if maybe we could find, let's try to see if we can find one that's moving pretty fast. Let's say this one. I mean, okay, this is not moving as fast either. Well, regardless, let's say we go to this one and we say, this one's moving a little bit quicker than usual. It has a good volume. Then we would use the ape. Now, the way we have the ape set up is this one, we're playing a little bit more. We're doubling our priority fee. We're increasing our slippage, and we're also increasing our bribery. This is just to make sure the chart's moving very fast, like it's going right. You want to get in there, because the faster you get in there, the more gains you're gonna get because you never know when the chart's gonna tank, right? We also have our sell exactly the same. The only thing we're changing on the sell is the 30%. We're actually willing to lose more tokens or gain more tokens due to the fact that we like when a coin kind of blows up and it goes up super fast, we want to make sure we exit as quickly as we possibly can. Okay, so that is going to be your ape settings. Now, usually like the gamble one, like I think if you have more than 3 soul, 5 soul, you should be pretty good to do the gamble one. I pretty much mostly run the gamble one. But whenever there's coins that I see like are blowing up, I will try the gamble. If it doesn't go through, then I just automatically switch it to ape, and then I buy in and buy that way. Now there are coins, guys. Like for example, when Nero came out, for example, when Slurf came out, when coins that just kind of just go from like for example the new one that came out, which was Luigi, I think, right? Luigi, this Luigi one, when this came out, I mean, this literally blew up, right? Like it went, like you can see right here the chart. It literally went poof, all the way up here. So you knew that that was gonna happen. So you wanted to get in here as quickly as you possibly can. I have this one called Degen, and this one's a little bit like you're gonna pay a lot, but you're gonna get in there fairly quickly. Okay, so what we have for this Degen one, we have our priority. We're paying 0.05. That's still a little bit cheap. Some people pay 0.1. That will literally instantly get you in if you do 0.1 here. But that's roughly like $40. I'm not that loaded to be like, okay, I'm gonna pay $40 yet. But eventually, whenever you have a lot of Solana, you're willing to pay $40 if it gets you down here, and you're gonna be exiting up here, right? So I have mine at 0.05. You could tinker this one with 0.01 or 0.08. Anything. Basically, if you put this to 0.1, it will, and this one to 0.1, it's gonna instantly buy the token for you. Okay. We have the max slippage. The reason we have this to 50 is because we're paying not that high. But if this was 0.1, I would definitely reduce the slippage to maybe like 35, 40, because I'm getting in there quick, right? We also have our sell priority very similar as well. We have 0.01, 0.01, and that 50%. So you guys see the difference here. We're actually paying less on the sell because usually when coins run this high up, the tank is not as heavy. As you see right, guys, it's not like insta dump. So you still have a chance to be able to exit out with this priority fee. Now, if you don't care, okay, so if you still don't care, you set this up and kind of put it the same way: 0.05, 0.05, max slippage at 50. Always making sure we have our enabled set up. And that should literally save you guys not only a ton of money, but allow you to trade faster. Because what that's going to allow you to do, it's going to allow you to be able to enter fast and exit quickly out of place. My ideal is if you are pretty much set on the gamble one, you should be pretty good to go almost on every single coin, unless you have really coins that are running up fairly fast and fairly quickly. Then it probably won't put you in, so you might want to try the ape and the degen. If you don't have a lot of soul, then you're gonna have to go with the dream. It's gonna be a little bit slower, but with that being said, you're not losing or risking that much soul, on priority fees and on sell fees. Okay, so that's the main thing, and that's basically how you trade faster and how you save money. The reason you save money, guys, is because BULLX currently right now has the lowest gas fees currently right now available. And if you use my link, you get an extra 10% off on those gas fees. So definitely do check that out if you haven't already. I hope this, guys, gives you a better idea of how to trade faster, how to save money, and how to use one of the best tools, if not the best tool currently right now, for trading meme coins. Thank you guys for watching. And if you have any additional questions, ask them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to follow us on Next and also on TG. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.